Hi everybody, how are we doing today? So today we're going to talk about how to finally overcome binge eating, and I have 5 raw and honest tips to quit binge eating that I'm going to share with you today. So my name is Kelsie Michaud, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm a certified health and life coach, and I help people to gain control of emotional eating so that they can feel healthy and confident and as they make peace with food and their body. And I'm also available for complimentary consultations if you would like to just jump on the phone for about 30 minutes or so, and we can dive really deep into your own health and weight goals, and we can see about maybe where you're stuck or confused or just plain frustrated, and I can show you how I can take you from where you are now to where you'd like to go. So let's talk about some binge eating and actually overcoming it today. So, what is binge eating to begin with? Well, binge eating is considered to be just these repeated episodes of eating large quantities of food, typically really quickly, and to the point of feeling just so uncomfortable. And then you usually do not feel in control during that time, during the binge. So it's certainly not uncommon for people to overeat to the point of feeling uncomfortable, at one time or another, especially if you have like a special occasion to go to, a special party. But when binge eating, with the binge eating, there's always large amounts of food that is eaten very quickly, and then you feel full, but you still continue to eat where you feel just out of control with how much food you're actually, putting in your mouth, and then you could end up feeling sick and just completely ashamed. That guilt starts to set in, just feeling completely ashamed of yourself and the behavior that you're doing. So the thing about binge eating is that you end up wanting to hide it from other people, and you don't want to be judged by others. And what's interesting about this is that the binge eating you end up being your own worst critic. You're thinking you're trying to hide it from other people, but really you're the one who's going to end up being hardest on yourself. And most people will end up binging on things that are unhealthy, unhealthier options like, junk food. But some will actually binge on healthier foods, and that can still be a problem because even when you're eating healthy, you can still overeat. You can overeat anything. If it's food, it has calories. There's nothing that doesn't have calories unless it's water. So you still have to be aware of that. So sometimes because we think we're snacking on carrots or vegetables or fruit, well, that's wonderful, but you still want to be aware of how much of that you're still putting in your body. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Thanks for coming on. Hi, Joy. So what motivates this binge eating? Well, I've had clients tell me that whenever they've had a binge, it was usually during a time when they were just feeling, sorry, had a call there. Spam call, of course. Anyway, so anytime that they were feeling like they wanted to binge, they were just, their emotions, it was something emotional for them, and it was really uncomfortable. And some will even overeat to just escape, to not deal with that underlying situation, and that will only complicate things because that makes the stress even worse, because that's definitely not a solution. So let's find some solutions for this. So I have some strategies for you to help stop with the binging. So first of all, hi Natalia, how are you? First of all, you want to make your home a nice, safe place. You're there a lot of the time, and especially now we are. And so you want to remove those temptations by getting rid of all the foods that you know that you tend to binge on. Hi Jennifer, thanks for coming on. So if there are other people in your home, which most likely there are, you could just nicely ask them if they wouldn't mind, just for like a month or two, while you're trying to work on overcoming this binge eating or compulsive eating, whatever you want to call it, if they'd be okay with removing those types of foods from the house. And if that's not a possibility, if that's just not possible for them, or if it just doesn't work, then try using maybe separate cabinets or ask the other members in your household to hide those foods that you would usually binge on. Hi, Joni. Thanks for coming on. So next you want to identify and make a list of your trigger foods or or even a trigger event, like whatever you know is going to trigger you. Let's become aware of it. Don't just let it keep happening. Let's be more conscious of it. Let's be more mindful. And like if you think back to your past with binges and think about like what set them off, was there a certain time? Were you with a certain person maybe? Did you maybe not get enough sleep? Sleep plays a huge role here too. Or maybe you got to an argument with your spouse or just a friend. Once you make this list, then you're going to be more aware of when you're going to be more vulnerable. And then you can look for the solutions that will decrease the stress. And remember to always be kind to yourself. So another one is that I want you to take care of your needs on a daily basis. I feel like we always put ourselves last. A lot of people, I hear this a ton, especially a ton of people that I talk to quite a bit. We're always putting ourselves last. Well, this can help to avoid feeling neglected and just feeling not so much in control of our emotions and our behaviors. So if you make a list of those non-negotiables, these are things that you need to do every day, to keep, just a good physical and emotional health. They go hand in hand. And some examples of taking care of yourself could be just some exercise and getting some movement in. Exercise doesn't have to be going to a gym, whatever movement feels good for you. So some exercise and just like some nice meditation. Meditation is just a great way to bring your body and your mind to a nice, calm space. And then also, keeping up with your responsibilities. You don't want things to get behind because that can be stressful, such as just even things like, keeping up on your housework or supplements, even taking some supplements for your body and taking care of your children and all the things that need to be done that are going to make you feel better. And even taking time to do more things specifically more detailed to you, like taking a nice long hot bubble bath if you can, or going for a long walk or a short walk, whatever's good for you. If you want to sit down and read, I love to sit down with a good book and, a cup of tea, something like that, but whatever feels good for you, you need to keep those on a regular basis, not just, maybe I'll do it like once or twice a month. It needs to be like into a routine so that you feel important and you feel good. So next, you want some immediate coping to stop that binge in its tracks. So what we can do here, if you're feeling the urge to binge, just reach out. Remember, there's other people around you. There's loved ones around you, whether it's a friend or family member. So don't struggle. You don't have to struggle. A lot of times we will kind of pull ourselves inward and be afraid to reach out or not feel like we want to reach out. But you can reach out to, a supportive friend, family member, or a professional, even such as, a coach like myself. Cravings and urges to binge are your signal that something is going on emotionally and that it's something that you really don't want to deal with. But getting into a safe space where food is like not around and you figure out what's going on emotionally, that's where the change starts to happen. That's where the shift starts to happen. When you start listening to your body and listening to what's going on with you, then, you can begin to come up with a plan to deal with what you're actually feeling. And that's where, like I said, that shift happens, actually stopping and dealing with what we're feeling. We don't want to. It can be really uncomfortable. It can be scary. It's something it's uncomfortable. So, you want to keep in mind that food will never solve that issue for you. A binge will only make it worse in the long run. So also, let's refrain from just these black and white thoughts. And what I mean by that is, like, an example would be if you say, I already ate bad for lunch, so I might as well just continue my bad eating for the rest of the day. Well, I hear this all the time. And to be completely honest, this was my self-talk for many, many years. Just because you fall off the wagon doesn't mean you should just, throw in the towel and be done with it. Especially for that day or for the week or whatever. You can prevent much more damage by reaching out for support or just getting right back on track. These instances can be really key, when learning how to fix negative behavior and make positive changes for your future. So I hope that was helpful for you. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you think that someone else might find this helpful, please feel free to share the video as well. And just as a reminder, I'm available for some complimentary consultations. I have a couple spots left available before the week ends. And that's where we just dive really deep into your own health and weight goals. We can get a little more personal, privately, for about 30 minutes or so, on a phone call. And maybe you're feeling stuck or frustrated, or just you're not sure, where to turn next and what your next best choice would be. So, I can help you how I can take you from where you are now to where you'd like to go. So, and that is completely free. We can chat, we can see what's going on, and see what happens. So if there's no questions about the content I just covered, then I guess I'm going to hop off because I do have a busy scheduled day today. But I hope everyone else has a wonderful day, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Bye, guys.